I want to continue with my year-long review. It got kind of a bit shortened because of the fact that I got kind of stuck in the mud and turned my bike into a big mess on my original plan, which was to go to a nice little scenic spot, cool background, and then just talk about this build. Part of that though included some programming, and one of the things I noticed when I never uploaded this video, but you can't really see the screens very good during the day, and they don't really have any night videos and that, so I thought it'd be a good time to maybe go out. We have like wet pavement, no chance of rain. It's kind of cold, but this is probably very scenic. It probably looks really cool right here. We'll just kind of take a ride downtown and talk about the programming a bit. So right now I got in power level 3, which is pretty casual. Now I've reset my settings because they did go back a default. I'm not exactly sure why it does that, but I figured let's go over some of this stuff. Okay, so right now, before I turn on the programming info, which is the SPEEED app, which you can download. No. Okay, so this right now, when you get your Bafang from factory, this is what it would look like. But for now, we'll just go see what the differences are. Power level 4 is a little faster. And what I've done with my settings is I've put more power, but less top speed. Okay, so that it accelerates and then kind of peters off. And I can feel it now. It's got a little bit of acceleration, and I'm just spinning my legs slightly, and it's going to stop at 20 kilometers an hour. And then if I gear up, it'll change. And then it'll slow down. Okay, so if I gear up, it'll increase the speed, but at some point, the motor will stop accelerating. Okay, so let me stop here somewhere where it's well lit. Let's see in here. I think there's a park over here. We'll go to a place that's well lit, and then I'll show the settings that I have on my app, which will help make sense. Okay, right here. Cool. There's some good lighting. Is I have to disconnect the cable. Okay. So I have the app. It's a SPEEED app. Right here, SPEEED. You can download it. Okay. But it's not connected. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to disconnect it from the display here. Now it might kill the bike, so just give me a second here. No, not that. It's this one right here. Okay, so we'll disconnect this, line up the guides. Okay, so you can see this good here. So I'm going to connect it. Allow, yes. Okay, it's connected. Now I'm going to read all, okay? Right, so let's just go over this. This is a BBS02. It's got 48 volts. I have a maximum current of 24 amps, which is the maximum. And we'll do the display. We're not using that. Okay, and this is my current settings that I have. Okay, so right now 0 is 0. Power level 1 is 40%, 30% of the speed. Let's put the kilometers. This is, again, for the way I like it. And okay, so mostly I spend my time Now I've in 4, 5, and 6, and 3, I've just reset it and I've increased it a little bit. So what I've done is I increased the power so that I have more acceleration, and then it just tops off, and then it just doesn't go anymore. Now I might consider lowering it. Now if I wanted to lower it, let's say 70% to 65%. 4, 5, and then 6 to 70%, because I spend most of my time in that range. So these are the levels that I'm currently going to write to my motor controller. And what I've done is I've increased the power levels and then kind of made them a little bit more tight around the 3, 4, 5, and 6, because that's where I spend most of my time. 7, 8, and 9 would be like if I'm battling with traffic. Okay, and so then what I've done is I got higher jumps in there, but this is where I spend most of my time, is in 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and so I have 50%, 55, 65, 75, and 85% of the motors. Well, in that, for going from that. Okay, so I'm going to write this. Okay. So parameters left, and also from here, we'll look at the pedal, and I'll just go over these here. So the speed limit is set at 40 kilometers an hour. That's the maximum of the app. Start current 35. So when it starts, I can probably increase that actually, because I find that I'm struggling a little bit to get going sometimes. So let's go to 50% power. Okay, so let's write that. That's the pedal assist. And the throttle. Now the throttle, these are standard and designated. So what I've done is I've put it all the way to the max. Okay, the speed limit, that's as high as it'll go. And start current, let's go a little higher than 15%. Let's go 20%. Okay, so that's when it takes off. Right? All right. So let's just so go through that. And so there's the settings. So we got levels, and in general, so at 41 volts it turns off. Current limit's 24. Speed diameter is 26. Now if you wanted to cheat the speed, you can change the wheel diameter. If you put a smaller wheel, you'll be able to go faster, but we don't really need to play games like that. And that's it. Now I don't think it'll, yeah, it's dead. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go home and I'm going to disconnect. Okay. And reconnect the wire. All right. Hopefully that was all in frame and then it all made sense. Turn the light back on. There we go. Okay, so let's start with power level 2, 1. What's on 1? Let's take a look at that. 30% power. Okay. Well, 30% power, 40% power, 30% speed. Oh, yeah. Oops. So that'd be like 200 watts. Not bad, but then it just stops pretty quickly. Am I gonna be able to get off of this? I guess not. And I don't plan on sending it. I'm in my 50s. So don't need to do that. Okay, so here we are on 1. And then 2, we have 250 watts. A little more speed, so I can increase a gear. Alright, this is pretty fast, but again, you know, so you can see too is kind of, you know, if you're dealing with public, this might be a good setting here. Where am I? I'll go this way. So I'm not putting any force here. So 13 kilometers an hour. 3. A little more power. So I'm going to up a gear. 14 kilometers. Let's just see how accurate that is. So it should be going 18 kilometers. Okay, that's pretty close. That's about right. Okay. So up a gear. 4. So 4 should give us 20 kilometers an hour. Okay, that's gonna. Okay, it's pretty close. It's good. I'm not putting any force. All I'm doing is just, now if I wanted to go, you know, that's past what the bike can do here. Okay, that's, I mean past what the motor's doing, and that's just my own muscles pushing in there. Again, this is part of the exercise thing too. I don't want it to be completely, you know, effortless. All right, so I'm going up a gear, the 5. According to this, 22 kilometers an hour. The gears are kind of, you can hear them skipping a bit. And 6, another gear. And this is kind of where I'm comfortable. This is more my speed right here. All right, so let's go this way here. Yeah, so I can feel the acceleration pretty good. Actually, 5 is more my speed in town. Right. So that's our new updated settings with the programming cable. I'll put it on here. So now as we get into the riding with traffic, it's a pretty good amount of acceleration here. All right. Well, anyway, there's nobody around. We're taking off. So now the bike is starting to feel more alive for sure at this setting. And this is quite frankly faster than I'm comfortable. This is getting to be kind of feeling reckless. So I'm going to go back a bit. Again, I just updated these settings, so I've given it more power. So I can really feel it. 5. Yeah, okay, this feels about right.
Nice light, dog.
Thanks. yeah, so I rewrote those settings, and the bike is just, I can feel it's changed. I still feel it's a little bit too fast though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bump it down percentage wise. So let's pick a spot to do that. The other thing is I can just get used to using the slower speeds or the numbers differently. I think that's what I'll do instead. So it used to be, I used to be on 4, 5, 6, well 4 not very often. Now I could bring that down to 3. This 3 is 250. Yeah, that's pretty much where it was on 5 or 4. Alright, so I'm going to do these new settings. I'm going to use more of the range of the of the 9 power levels. So I'll just get used to these new settings instead. And I'll go to 1. So yeah, one would be walking speed, 2 kind of easy cruising, 3 kind of what I'm used to. But it tops out though, that's pretty cool. 4 would be like maybe 5. Cool. All right, so we're gonna do these settings from now on, and we'll just, there's a little bit of a tutorial or some discussion. I wouldn't call it a tutorial, it's more like how I perceive this app and how I use it. And if it's helpful to anyone, just leave a comment, like and subscribe, and that. And I'll just head on back from here using my new settings. And then the next one will be I'm gonna pick a nice day, nice location, and we'll do a proper top to bottom bike review, kind of what I like about it. Mostly it's very positive because I just pretty much like everything about this bike. Oh. Hi. I should also mention the lights I have. Okay, so while I'm in the dark, let's talk about the lights here. So we have, in the front is a Lezyne. It's a bright one. It's a Lezyne 1000. And what I've had to do is I got it attached to the controller, okay, but the amount of power that comes out of the motor is not enough to power that particular light. It needs 2 amps, and what comes out of there is half an amp. So what I've had to do is I've had to, behind this right here, this tape. This is electrical tape. Well, not electrical. It's rubber tape, meant for splicing electrical cables, like high current cables. And also waterproofing. Behind here is a relay and a converter that turns the 48 volts to 12 volts, and the relay is what turns it on and off. So this turns on the relay, then the relay turns on the converter, and the converter feeds 12 volts and 2 amps to this lamp. And that's how I got it working. Now, this is a convoluted kind of way. You don't really want to do this, because this very lamp is very good. I like it because it's aluminum and it has mounted on the gooseneck, and so there's no extra need for space. So it takes up used space. So you just replace the bolts, the hex key bolts that come with this lamp. Replace the ones that are holding the handlebars on, and so that's great. That's a good idea. And the other one I have back here, mounted to the top of my bike, if you can see it. I don't quite remember the name of it, but it's pretty good. It's mounted onto the rails, and I have it tucked in here, so it's nice and hidden, like as far as being protected. And it's pretty good. It's battery operated though, so I have to turn that on and off. And it has an accelerometer on it also, so when I hit the brakes, it notices and gets bright. Can't really demonstrate that in this particular case. Well, yeah, so that's the lighting system. And like I was saying, you can buy this particular light in a high voltage. That'll do the conversion. I don't think you'll be able to do the, you'll still need a relay in order to use the on-off switch. But, I mean, then all you gotta do apart from that is just turn it on and off from the head, which is not a big deal. It's nice to have the on-off switch on the controller. Right. So let's go back. This is a fun little run right here. So it should turn green. There you go. And we're going to go by the school with Alec Trebek's face on it. I guess this is where he went to school. I don't know if you can see him. Hey, Alex. Yeah, this power levels feel pretty good. So you got to go fast when you're with traffic. I mean, although traffic is a whole other freaking conversation. And here's the thing. I'm in the north. People are not used to seeing guys like me on bikes. Okay, they're just not used to it. And so I'll spend most of my time on the sidewalk or side streets, just for preservation of life. Never mind, I don't care what the. Oh, you're supposed to be the highway traffic access is supposed to be on the road. Give me a break, okay? Like, nobody enforces that. It's ridiculous. So the point is just being safe. And there's not just the fact that the people are not used to it, but there's a lot of distracted drivers. So you have to be very aware of where you are, and you got to constantly keep a swivel head. But I forget what the point was, but essentially it's better to have a bike that can keep up the traffic if you need to than having a bunch of vehicles pass you and one of them being a distracted driver that didn't see you. You know what I mean? It just lowers your risk by not having less vehicles pass you. And then this bike does not go very fast. It really tops out at 40 kilometers an hour, and it becomes kind of unstable. Like it at 60 kilometers an hour, it would be hard to control. It would just start bouncing around. So you don't want that. It's just not designed for speeds past what the manufacturers designed, and which was about, well, the gearing itself. Like when the bike came with the gears, when you pedal as fast as you can downhill, you can get about maybe 50 kilometers an hour, maybe 55, and that's about it. 60, and the bike's not really designed to go past faster than that, and this motor will not push the bike faster than that. It wouldn't be proper. So that's important too, is to match up the right amount of power with the bike design. So it's a heavier bike, longer bike, like, longer wheelbase, sure. Fat bike, absolutely. Get the upgraded HB1000 or BBS HD for a fat bike, because you have that much more resistance. Now if it was a road bike, this would be too much. Maybe go with the 500 watt BBS01 if you got a road bike. The BBS02 is perfect for a hardtail like this, and like a trail bike. And I'm pretty happy with this setup. And if you go along with a similar setup, I have all of the details on my Amazon store, and so check it out. And if you're here, thanks for staying in tune, and hope you enjoy your adventures on a electric mountain bike as much as I do. I always look for reasons to go out for a ride, including making YouTube videos, just because it's that much fun. It's that much fun. And it makes me feel good when you get home and you're done. So anyway, thanks for hanging on and watching. Have a good day.